We absolutely love taking your calls, so please do call in on any live show. No calls can be taken today as this is a special replay broadcast. Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice. Welcome everyone to Angel Heart Radio. You are our focus. We want you to know that you matter in the world and that you're important to the world. We're here to remind you of just how valuable and needed you are right now. Help us to help others. If you like what you hear, tell your friends, post, tweet, pin, let everyone know how amazing Angel Heart Radio is. So again, welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is sponsored by AngelLight777.com.
Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me, Annette McCoy. So excited today. Rosemary Butterworth is with me and we're going to be talking about M's. Marvellous, magical, music, mirth, mayhem and more. Rosemary, delightful to have you with me.
Oh, it's absolutely wonderful to be back.
Thank you. And of course, listeners, it might be evening where you are. It might be late afternoon. And it might be, in fact, down the track. You might choose to listen to us via the archives. Whenever you do, thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your interest. Rosemary, I know that it's been an amazing, marvellous May for us both. I had an amazing time travelling. I'm very, very blessed with all that happened. And one thing that I certainly received, a huge message, was, of course, time for myself. And I see you and I as very similar. We love being of service to other people. However, we've both been given big wake-up messages of making time for ourselves.
Definitely. Oh, it's incredible what happened in May, I think. What we manifested together.
Yeah.
Although we were on other sides of the world, and we can get together and share. It's wonderful.
It is. And of course, I know through our sharing on air that we will be helping others out there. And that for me is what this world is all about. It's sharing the love, sharing what we have and knowing that, okay, yes, everybody experiences pain in different parts of their lives at different times. It's to understand that that pain has a purpose.
Oh, definitely. For without the pain that I've recently experienced, I wouldn't have known what was going on in my body and what my body needed. And I'd love to share with the listeners a little story because it may help them. Rather than resent the pain or try to push it away, resist it, but rather embrace it. And it seems funny to say that because the pain was so severe, but it's taught me, Annette, so much about what is needed in my body at this time. It's just taught me heaps. So if I can, I'd just like to begin the story with about a client who rang me, and she has had a very severe breakdown. And it's about 6 or 9 months ago. And she has young children, which she had to leave and be looked after in a mother's place. She couldn't even bath herself at the start of this journey. So it was very severe indeed. And she was working as a healer, Annette. So it made it worse because it was like, healer, why can't you heal yourself? So, yes, it's awful. So when she rang me, first of all, I looked at her energy and I thought, nothing is going wrong. This is the first thing I had to get through to her. Nothing is going wrong. It's like a caterpillar has to go through a transformational stage to reach butterfly, doesn't it?
Yes.
So what she was going through was the breakup of who she thought she was. And when I said to her initially, darling, you're just going through to enlightenment, she said, but I was already enlightened. She thought she'd arrived, you know. And I said, all that you thought you are and were has got to be let go of. You don't know who you are, and that's all right. But it's all got to be broken down. So she went through months of crying and feeling guilty because she couldn't look after her own children. So we get to May, and she rings me this day.
Magical May.
Magical May. And she rings me this day, and she started crying. And she just said, in very upset voice, why is this taking so long? I was all right 2 days ago. I thought I was getting there, and now I'm just as bad today. And she started going into the story. Why? When am I going to be better? So I said to her in a very firm voice, no more story. Just stop the story right now. Go out, sit in the sunshine, and go to work. This is your homework. Sit out there in the sunshine and breathe in the sun for 20 minutes into every pore of your body, into every cell of your body. And I hung up. Off you go now, do that. And I hung up. 20 minutes later, or 25 minutes later, the phone goes, and it's her. And she says to me, Rosemary, that was magical. I feel wonderful. She said, sun is such inexpensive medicine. She said, and yet it's priceless. And then I get this email. Rosemary, you truly have helped me. Thank you so much for all the life coaching you've been doing for me, and thank you so much for your book, which is How to Move Forward, a little plug there in it.
Of course.
And she said, the book, when I was reading the book in a crisis, it's helped me go to a different level of understanding. And I said, well, that's very good. Thank you very much. But in the email she said, Rosemary, I think you really are Australia's Louise Hay. I burst out laughing.
I could second that.
And would you believe what she didn't know was she'd thrown a gauntlet down to me because I have to then heal myself. What she didn't know was I'd been carrying stones in 2 buckets, helping my husband do some landscaping. And at my age, I should not have been carrying the stones. And my knee got hurt. And in May, the pain got worse. And my husband finally said to me, look, stop trying to heal it yourself and go and get me an X-ray and a CAT scan and see what is going on. So I did. I had to then walk with a walking stick. It hurt me when I drove. So my husband drove me to the doctors, drove me to get a CAT scan. So I thought, yes, some Louise Hay here. Walking on a walking stick, you know, and it's really funny. Everybody coming up to me, can I help you open the door, dear? I was coming out of a toilet in the supermarket and in the mall, and somebody came up to me, oh, darling, can you open the door? And I thought, oh, gosh, they've got me 93 now, you know, sort of thing. Anyway, it wasn't a very magical time at all. So when I went to the doctor looked at the X-rays and said, oh, this is where the magic started. You have osteoarthritis, and that is eating away at your bones. Oh, Annette, I thought, my gosh, what will I do now? So I went and picked up Viana Steibol's book, Disease and Disorders. I really recommend the listeners get this book because you can look up every disease. It's quite a thick book, and see the causes of it. The causes, she said, for osteoarthritis were guilt, resentment, and fear. So I had some real work to do then. So I have been to a chiropractor who does reconnection, and I've been to an NLP practitioner who just happened to turn up magically at the right time. I manifested her. And she can do it on the phone because I can't drive to get to her place. How about that for magic?
Yes, gorgeous.
Yeah. So how looked after are we? And I've been thinking back of my life and thinking of all the things that I have been feeling guilty about. I was married to an alcoholic, and after 20 years I left, and I took two of the younger children, because it was all I could afford to house at that time. And I felt guilty about the others, the older children. The older boy had to study in the ladies' place next door because my husband was so drunk at that time. And these things I thought I'd resolved, but I hadn't. And so it's been a wonderful journey because I then did Ho'oponopono. I wonder if the listeners have heard of that.
I know
Joe
we've mentioned.
Vitale. Yeah.
Yeah, we have mentioned it on previous shows, Rosemary, and I think it's really important that we mention it again because it's so simple and so effective.
Oh, look, it's been wonderful for me. Ho'oponopono was given to us by a Hawaiian doctor who worked in a criminally insane hospital. And he said that everybody in there were one. We're all part of a oneness. So therefore, when he took a case study, whatever that man had done, whether it was murder and rape, there was some part of himself that had done that. I had a bit of trouble accepting that at first.
Right.
So he then sat down with that man's case study in an office, acknowledging that there's some part of himself, if we're all one, that was guilty of that. And he said 4 sentences. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And he said it over and over again. And do you know this story, Annette, but perhaps the listeners haven't heard it, that he healed every single person in that criminally insane hospital. They were all healed. So, in remembering this, what I've been doing, Annette, is holding my knee, acknowledging that I am the cause of the pain. Nobody else. I've accepted that my emotions of guilt, my emotions of resentment and fear have caused the deterioration of my cells. So here I sit on the lounge every day now for a good half hour, and I say to the cells in my knee and my hip, because my hip is affected too, my right hip, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And do you know I can walk around the house now without my walking stick?
Wow.
It is so much better. So I'm looking at other parts of my body that, you know, my eyes, I've got cataracts.
Yes.
What don't I want to see?
Yes.
You know, what don't I want to face in life? You know, and fear is really only an absence of love, isn't it?
That's so true. Yes, because where there's love, there's no fear.
That's right. And I was just reading before we came on air a sentence in Gerald J. Jampolsky's book, which he says, if you're in the moment now, there's only love. So there can't be pain or fear. And I went, wow, I need to read that too.
Yes.
Isn't that fantastic? You know?
It is, and it's through experiences such as yours, Rosemary, and the fact that now you're on air and sharing it, because we can all put our hands up. And because we do become fearful, and our bodies are sending us messages all the time, and yet sometimes we choose not to listen to them. We go into fear about what might be happening in our body, instead of seeing that as a message. There's another M word. You know, our body has messages for us all the time.
All the time. And what I realized is that I am the creator of these illnesses. Nobody else is. I am.
Yeah, see, that's
and
big.
If I watch, it really was big
it's
for
huge.
me. And it wasn't an accident. It wasn't just something that happened with osteoarthritis. It was a creation of mine. So I take full responsibility of that. And the fact that I've got cataracts on my eyes, that should laugh at it, because since having cataracts on my eyes, they're acting like contact lenses, and I don't have to wear glasses. I even had to have my eyes retested because on my license it says I have to wear glasses. So I've been to the RTA and had my eyes done to get a new license. It says, no, I don't have to wear glasses now.
Isn't that amazing?
It is quite funny, yes. But everything that happens to us, if we take responsibility for it, and it doesn't make you feel bad. It made me feel good to accept my responsibility, because if I created it, I can uncreate it. You know what I mean?
That's right. And that is huge. It's simple, however, it is huge to get our head around the fact that the body is recreating cells all the time. And so we can create healthy cells. And that's magic of the body. How phenomenal is our body that we can uncreate dis-ease?
That's right. You know, I know when I was training selling cosmetics, and you go through a training school to sell them, and they teach you that you get a new face every 28 days. But the new cell comes in all round and plump. Then it takes the program from the old cell before the old cell dissolves. So therefore, you have the crease that was in the face, the lines, go into the new plump cell. And I thought, if only I could clear the old cells out of their programs first, you know.
Right.
And then we could all regenerate our face. But all the cells are regenerating all the time. But the thing is to get the programs out, to get the negative emotions. And in my face, I suppose the lines all represent the pain, the struggle, everything I've been through. If anyone was a face reader and read my face. As a matter of fact, yesterday I found a photo of me when I was 32. And not one person at the table, because I had some visitors, and not one person even went close to guessing that that photo was of me.
Really?
I've changed so much. Yes, I've changed so much. And so it's all, our history is in our face because we carry the stories of who we think we are. And this is what I was saying to this lovely client of mine. That all has to go. Who we think we are. Because we're none of that. We are light. We are love. And that's all. And we're here to share that light and that love with everybody. Just like a beautiful rose has a beautiful perfume. And it will share that perfume with everybody. It doesn't say, oh, I'll share it with you because you've been a good girl. I like you, but I don't like you. It shares it with whoever comes up to it and smells it. It shares its beauty with the whole world. And that's who we are. We're like a rose. We're full of love and we're full of light. And that makes life so simple. When people ask me now, what is my purpose? I say to them, your purpose is doing exactly what you're doing at this moment. You do it with love. Enjoy it. That will lead you to the next step. That will lead you to the following step, and so on. So do everything with love and enjoy it. I suppose that's my message today.
As we said earlier, where there is love, there cannot be fear. There's no room. So my message to all of us, myself included, is to release any fear. You know, embrace the moment is so important. And let's embrace this moment, Rosemary, before we go into your regular meditation. And I thank you for giving us a monthly meditation. It's such a treat. Your website, because yes, you have your book. Yes, you have so much to offer other people, including Skype sessions, I believe, if people are too far away to come and visit you personally.
Yes. At the moment, I've just got to set up the Skype again. So I am on Skype now, aren't I?
You are. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, yes. Okay. My website is www.rosemary.aol.org.au. So that's www.rosemary.aol.org.au. And my book is called How to Move Forward, Leave Your Thoughts Behind. That's the secret of it.
It certainly is. All right. And you're going to give us the opportunity of moving now into meditation. And I know that people quite often the cry is, oh, but I can't meditate. And of course, that little word cannot means I choose not to. So listeners, here is a golden opportunity. If you're doing something while you're listening, take the time to stop for the next few minutes and benefit from Rosemary's excellent meditation. Over to you, Rosemary.
Thank you, Annette. So do stop, listeners. Treat yourself to a rest for your soul, a rest for your spirit, a rest for your mind, by sitting down now and just feeling your body on the chair. Taking deep, deep breaths from your abdomen and breathing out the day. If it's nighttime, breathe out the whole day. Let go any upsets, any discordancies. I release, I let go. And I'll be here now. Just be here now. Leave your eyes open for a minute. And look at the wall opposite you. Look a little bit above the level of your eyesight. And keep your eyes steady. Don't let the mind play tricks on you and say, oh, look at that spot. I should have cleaned that spot off. Just look at the wall or comment on a painting. Don't let the mind do that. Just fix it on the spot. And breathe. And as you're looking at this spot, be aware of the surface of the wall around the spot. Be aware of the whole wall while your eyes are still fixed on that spot. Now be aware of the other walls and increase your awareness to the place behind you. So you know while you're looking at this spot, you're sitting in a room and you're aware of the whole room. You're aware of your body breathing. Now close your eyes and let your imagination take you on a journey. Imagine you're in the countryside and it's a beautiful day. You're walking through a field of tall grasses. It's about up to your knees. The sun's shining and you're breathing in the sunshine and it feels so good to be alive. You're heading for the river, so you're just walking calmly through the green grasses until you hear the river. You hear it first. Hear the running water. Then you can see it as you come down the slope. The sun is shining on the water and it's looking so beautiful. You walk down to the bank of the river and you seat yourself comfortably. And you're just looking at this river and the little twigs floating by. And you're looking at the green bank just sitting on. body's going into a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. It feels so calm, so peaceful. Then you take out a white cloth that you brought specially down to the river. Perhaps it's as big as a small tablecloth. And you lay it beside you on the grass. You spread it out. It looks lovely just on the grass there beside the river. Now you're being told by your angels, this is a wonderful time for you to release to the angel of water all those worries, all your resentment, all the things that you think you are, all your past stories. And all of a sudden you notice you can feel a basket on your back. And you reach in and there's these bricks. Some are little, some are big. And your angels tell you this is what you've been carrying. These bricks are made up of your stories, your past fears, your emotions. And your angels tell you to take these bricks, imagine, using your imagination, you can take them out of this basket and put them down on the white cloth. And you reach in and you pick up a brick and you put it down. And as you touch this brick, you know what it's made up of. It might be made up of guilt. All the times you felt guilty. And you remember some of them. And you reach in and you take another brick. And this one is blame. And it's made up of all the stories you've had during your lifetime when you've blamed somebody, something, perhaps even criticized yourself. And it's with a sort of eagerness now that you reach into the basket on your back and pull out another one. Resentment. And you're in a hurry now to more bricks out. But more bricks, stories of pain and suffering that you went through when you were a child. Is another one called humiliation. Not feeling good enough. And you pile them up on your white cloth. Now your angels are directing you to tie them all up in that white cloth. Tie them. And you expect it to be very heavy. So you might ask your angels to help you throw it into the water to dissolve. The angel of water can do that. And so 1, 2, 3. Using your mind to see it splash into the water. And you know you've released so much because all of a sudden you can't feel that basket on your back. And you look and you see the white cloth and all that it held dissolving before your eyes. The angel of water has taken that vibration and transformed it for you with love. You are free from those vibrations now. You breathe in the sunlight into the pores of your cells, these pores of your skin. Let the sunlight go right in. Ask yourself, where was I holding that resentment? Was it in my heart? Was that anger in my liver? Was that not feeling worthy in my spleen? So you breathe in the sunlight to those organs, to that place in your body where you felt the pain. Breathe it in, imagine this golden sunlight going in. It feels so good. Then you notice your own heart is glowing like a sun, sending out love. And you see the beam of love from your heart to your liver, to your spleen, to your kidneys, to your brain, to all your organs. And you feel this love flow through your body, down your arms, out your fingers, into the world around you, down your legs, out your feet, into the earth. And that feels wonderful, love. And now it's time for you to stand up from the bank of the river and walk back across the field, back, feeling so good, relaxed and lighter and happier than you've felt in a long, long time. So coming back into your body, into this reality now, feeling refreshed, recharged, and energized. Thank you. And so it is.
And so it is, Rosemary. Thank you. Well, listeners, and of course we are blessed because this is archived, which means that if you really like that meditation or any of the other ones that Rosemary has very kindly led over the earlier months, go in and re-listen. You can download the episode and then just take out the meditation if you so desire. Wonderful. I loved the use of the sun, Rosemary. And of course we can do that every single day.
Yes, we can. And we don't do it often enough because we're sitting at computers or we're inside in offices. But if we just sit outside for 20 minutes and intentionally breathe the sunlight into the cells of our body. It makes such a difference to us. One time, I think I might have mentioned it on radio before, I was caring for a lady who was manic depressive and she couldn't leave the house. And I told her to go and sit on the beach. And, you know, she summed up the courage. It took a tremendous amount of courage for her to walk down to the beach and go outside the house and sit there and work and breathe in the sunlight. And you know, Annette, I'm just trying to think how long it took. It was only about a week or 2 weeks before she could leave the house regularly and do her shopping. It just healed her. It was really like, wow. It was wonderful. And I'd like any of your listeners, if ever they have a problem, they can always ring in on the show and ask a question too.
That's exactly right. The call-in number is, this is in America, area code 347, and the call-in number is 202-0232. Lots of twos in there. So you can seize the moment now if you would like. Ring in and ask a question. And of course, you can always connect with Rosemary via her website and her email, rosemary@aol.org.au. And you can contact Rosemary through me, Annette@angelheartradio.com. And we love sharing. We love hearing from people. So,
definitely. So don't be shy. Pick up the phone and do ring in. We'd love to hear from you. So that is an offer, okay? And if I can, I will use my psychic abilities to see what's troubling you or give you some advice, like go and sit in the sun.
Yes. Well, see, that is such simple advice. And it's interesting how many office workers actually go out into the sunshine at lunchtime. I know in Melbourne the parks are full of the office workers taking the time to take advantage of the sun, because as your client said, Rosemary, the sun is free. No, it's there for us, and even on a cloudy or an overcast day, to visualize the sun, because it's still there, just happens to be behind the clouds.
Yes. Now, there's one thing. The cloud represents to me your mind, your lower mind, as I call it, or your thinking mind. So do go and sit in the sun, but try to be or practice being conscious of the sunshine. Don't go out there and just think. Just take it in, breathe it in to the cells of your body, and you will really notice a difference in your body's health. It's a wonderful medicine, vitamin D, isn't it, Annette?
That's right, yes. Well, what with that and Ho'oponopono, boy, our listeners, will, as well as ourselves, will be bouncing off the walls in no time. And that, for me, Rosemary, is what 2014 is all about. It's about being aware of ourselves and being the best that we can to shine the light of love.
That's right. It's not about criticizing ourselves. It's not about saying, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. They're just ideas. And if we let these clouds go away, as I say in my book, leave your thoughts behind, you will know that you are good enough. Because beyond the cloud, the sun is shining always. And that's your heart. You are love. So that seems to be my message for today, Annette.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Rosemary, John of God will be in Australia later in the year, and Brazzo has just been here. I mean, we are so blessed.
Oh, look, we are. Brazzo, I went to see him recently in May, and, it was very wonderful because I was on a walking stick, Annette, at that time. I was taken into the front row. See the advantage, girls?
Yes.
You've got to look at the gift.
Absolutely.
And I sat in the very front row, and when he was gazing, as you experienced last Perth, I could feel the love coming through his eyes, pouring into my body. And Narelle, my friend who was with me, she was standing there and she, I don't think I can stand up. She said, pain in my hips just really bad today. Anyway, she stood up, and I suppose he was gazing for about 5-7 minutes, Annette. And then she said, oh my God, my pain's gone. Wow. It's such a shock that love can heal pain, And then when I was at the chiropractor, he told me he went the other 2 days. He went Saturday and Sunday, and he said that a lady stood up and said she'd flown to Perth last year when you were there, Annette, and she came from Thailand, I think he said, and she had cancer, and she went to every single session, and she stood up when she was here in Sydney again, and she said she no longer has cancer.
Wow.
So isn't that wonderful? Yes, and John of God's coming to Sydney in November, I think it is. So
that's right.
I'm going to that too. So lovely. I recommend all the listeners to put it in their diary if they can.
Well, the thing is, Brazzo travels throughout the world, and he also does gazing. So you can experience the gaze of Brazzo sitting in your own home using the computer. Again, the marvels of technology. So I suggest that if you like what you hear us talking about, Brazzo, B-R-A-C-O, Google of that, and a Google of John of God, who lives in Brazil. There's a friend of mine, Rosemary, who's going to spend 3 months with John of God very shortly.
Gosh, that'll be an experience and a half.
Absolutely.
Yes. I'm going to the 3 days with my husband. I said to John, I'd like to do the 3 whole days, and perhaps I'll get sitting in the current room, which would be an experience. You sit there in the current room holding the energy of the centre when he's working, and that would be quite an experience. It would be lovely.
Yes.
Yes. So we're so looked after. We really are. This is another aspect I tell my clients. We really are supported by the invisible world, whether you believe in angels or ascended masters, guides, teachers. We really support it all the time. We've only just got to stop the thinking, which interferes with their guidance.
Well, it's that allow to let go the control. We don't have to be in the driver's seat to ask for guidance and
That's
to
right.
listen.
And of course, we never know. Sorry. Yes.
No, you go.
I was going to say we never know where that guidance is going to come from, because in my experience, it's come from looking over someone's shoulder and seeing it in a newspaper and getting the words, oh my God, that's the answer to my prayer, or my guidance. Or you can put the radio on and it can be in the words of a song.
Yes.
You think, oh my gosh, that's what I asked for. You know, it's so funny. Or it could be even an ad on TV. You might ask, where would be the best place for me, for my highest good, to go on a holiday or something? And then you put TV on, there'll be an ad for Bali or somewhere. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yes, it can come anywhere. My chiropractor, if I can just tell the listeners this funny story, he was telling me that he was a chiropractor for 5 years, and he said all I was doing was cracking somebody's spine or neck or arm or every 5 minutes, and I just had to work flat chat to get through everybody. And after 5 years of that, he said, I was exhausted. So I went on a long holiday, and I went to Scotland. While I was in Scotland, now listen here, this is where his guidance or his angels or wherever came in. He said, while I was in Scotland, a bird chased me into a bookshop. He said, I had to go into this bookshop to get away from him. And he said, I went into this bookshop, and there on a table right in the front of the shop were books on Reiki. He said, I'd heard the word, but I wasn't interested in Reiki. He said, but it kept sort of nudging me, you know, come and read this book. So he said, I bought this book, and he said, I read it from cover to cover in one day. Then I did Reiki, then I did other things, and I did reconnection. And he said, now, he said, I find doing reconnection as a chiropractor so helpful because I find the thought forms in somebody's bladder or somebody's pancreas or heart. And he said, they're the thought forms that shifted my sacrum, that twisted my hip, that twisted my knee. You know what I mean? And
right.
He said he got out, he said, what did he say? I had discouraged in there that was making my hip, because this is what the x-ray showed, that also, apart from the osteoarthritis, my left hip was a centimetre higher than my right. And he said that was all due to these thought forms. So it was very interesting. But I love the way these guys got the birds chasing into the bookshop.
Again, magic. And especially when we see it.
Yes.
Oh, Rosemary, while I was away, I had angels, I call them earth angels, all the time. You know, I wasn't sure how to get from one form of transport to another as I was leaving Toulouse. And yet there was this lady leaving the tram and heading to the metro. And she said, come with me. We had very little common language, but we could make each other understood. And she made sure, as she left one station before I was to get out, that I knew that the next station was the one I needed. You know, how special. And she took the time to be with me. We need to go, Rosemary. There's no more time.
I look forward to next month, listeners. And do ring in.
Yes, please ring in and re-listen to that meditation. Make the most of every moment. Rosemary, thank you so much. Listeners,
I've
thank
enjoyed
you.
it. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. And as I said, make the most of every moment. Bye.
You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views and opinions expressed by Angel Heart Radio hosts, guests, co-hosts and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.